What you see is not the full truth. This body, this world, even this voice is just the surface. Who we truly are goes far beyond the physical. We are energy, we are vibration, we are consciousness dreaming itself awake. Let's begin with the part we know best, the physical body. It breathes, feels, moves, and yet we often forget how miraculous it truly is. Underneath the skin, there's a living system more intricate than any machine, a nervous system transmitting signals, brain waves pulsing through, and trillions of cells vibrating in their own subtle rhythms. In fact, science has shown that even our cells have a natural frequency. Research now confirms that human cells resonate in ranges we can almost hear, like tiny instruments humming beneath the surface. Our body is quite literally music. And our brain is constantly producing waves, alpha, beta, delta, gamma, theta, each linked to a different state of being: calm, alert, dreaming, deep sleep. These are not just patterns, they're portals into how we think, feel, and remember. The nervous system is like a bridge connecting our senses to the world and our inner world to the outer one. Part of it we can control, like lifting an arm or speaking a word. But the deeper magic lies in what we can't control: the beat of our heart, the digestion of a meal, the steady rhythm of breath when we sleep. This is the autonomic nervous system, and it has two powerful branches. The sympathetic, which gets activated when we are in motion, responding, defending, and the parasympathetic, which slows us down so we can rest, digest, and heal. And there's even a third, the enteric system, the brain of the gut. It's why we feel emotion in our stomach, why intuition is often felt before it's thought. All of this, the signals, the chemicals, the rhythms, is shaped by another force, our DNA. A vast library of information that tells our body how to grow, heal, and adapt. And here's something incredible. The environment we live in, our stress levels, nutrition, even our childhood experiences can leave marks on our DNA. These are called epigenetic changes. They don't change the code, but they change how the code is read. And those changes can even be passed on to the future generations. So yes, we are physical, but we are not just physical. We also feel. This brings us to the emotional body. Think about a time you were around someone constantly negative. How did you feel afterward? Heavy? Drained? Or when you were on a crowded train, surrounded by stress and noise, could you feel your nervous system tighten? Emotions are not just in our heads. They are vibrations moving through the body. Modern neuroscience shows that emotions activate the nervous system, shift hormones, change breath, even alter immune response. They are invisible waves with very real effects. And then there's the energy body. In the West, science calls this the biofield, the subtle electromagnetic field surrounding all living things. In ancient cultures, it was called prana, chi, spirit breath. Across India and China, for thousands of years, healers spoke of chakras and meridians, energetic highways that regulate vitality. Today, researchers are starting to measure the electromagnetic activity at key chakra locations, like the heart, which emits the strongest field in the body. Biofield science now suggests that healing isn't just chemical, it may be electromagnetic, even quantum. This may be why practices like Reiki, acupuncture, or sound healing are beginning to show measurable effects, not as magic, but as energy flow. Finally, we arrive at what is often forgotten, the spiritual self. The spark that exists beyond the body, beyond thought. Some call it soul, others pure awareness. It is the part of you that watches thoughts come and go. The silent presence that never changes, even as everything else does. Fascinatingly, even science is beginning to glimpse this mystery. In studies of people near death, there's been evidence of a sudden surge in high-frequency brain activity right before the body shuts down. It is as if consciousness holds on for just a moment longer. And in quantum physics, we find a similar suggestion that the observer shapes reality. That consciousness may not arise from matter, but matter from consciousness. So who are we really? We are not one of these layers. We are all of them: physical, emotional, energetic, spiritual, woven together into one magnificent living field. A human being is not a machine. We are a symphony of frequencies, a masterpiece in motion. For thousands of years, mystics, sages, and poets tried to describe reality with stories, with symbols, with silence. They said, "You are the universe looking at itself." They spoke of soul, spirit, light, and the eternal field that connects all things. Today, science uses different language. It talks of vibrations, frequencies, electromagnetic fields, and quantum probabilities. But if you listen closely, you'll hear the same truth beneath both. Buddha called it emptiness. Quantum physicists call it the field of infinite potential. The Vedas called it Brahman. Today we call it consciousness, or the quantum field. The language may evolve, but the message remains. We are not separate from the universe. We are woven into its very fabric. This is where the universal laws come in, timeless principles that help us understand how life works, not just out there, but in here. These laws were passed down through Hermetic philosophy, ancient Egypt, and later the Kabbalion, a text that echoed truths known across cultures. The 7 Hermetic principles and the law of resonance. Number 1, mentalism. All is mind. The universe begins in thought. Reality is shaped by consciousness. Your inner world is not a reflection of your outer life. It's the cause. Number 2, correspondence. As above, so below. What happens within you mirrors what happens around you. Your body, yourself, your relationships, your world, all are connected by hidden patterns. Number 3, vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Everything, thoughts, feelings, matter, is vibrating at a frequency. You are like a tuning fork, and your frequency determines what you resonate with. This is the foundation of what we now call the law of resonance. What you emit, you attract. Your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, they're signals, calling in experiences that match them. Number 4, polarity. Everything has its opposite. Love and fear, joy and sorrow, light and dark. The key is not to fight the opposite, but to transcend it. When you shift your frequency from fear to love, the world responds accordingly. Number 5, rhythm. Everything flows in and out. Life moves in cycles, seasons, moods, successes, endings. Resonance decides which rhythm you enter. When you raise your frequency, you change your pattern. Number 6, cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. You are not a victim of life, you are a creator within it. Every belief, every choice, every thought ripples out. And what returns is not punishment or reward, it's resonance. Number 7, gender. Everything contains both masculine and feminine principles. This is not about biology, it's about energy, action and stillness, logic and intuition, giving and receiving. When these energies are balanced within you, you move in harmony with the universe. These are not just mystical ideas. Science is beginning to catch up. Physicists now understand that matter is not solid. It's mostly space, vibrating energy held together by invisible forces. Even atoms are 99.999% empty. And this is what the mystics already knew. That reality is not fixed, it's malleable, it responds to consciousness. In Buddhism, it said, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. In Christianity, in the beginning was the Word, and science now says, observation changes the outcome. Sound creates form, intention shapes energy, awareness is a sculptor of experience. Even the patterns of nature whisper the truth to us. Look at the petals of a flower, the spirals of a pine cone, the shape of a seashell. They follow a sacred chord, the Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. The same pattern is in your body, in your face, even in the twist of your DNA. The world is not random. It is a symphony of geometry, frequency, and consciousness. And you too are part of that song. So when the mystic says you're divine and the physicist says you're energy, they speak in different languages, but they're pointing to the same forgotten truth. The truth that you are not separate from the universe. You are it in motion. The deepest truth of existence have never belonged to one religion, one book, or one person. Throughout history, across continents and cultures, humanity has pointed to the same mystery, using different words, different symbols. One says soul, another says Atman. One calls it God, another the Tao. but all are reaching towards the same knowing, that beneath the illusion of separation, we are already one. In Christianity, Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." He wasn't pointing to the sky, but to the heart. The Vedas whisper, Atman is Brahman. Your individual soul is the universal soul. In Buddhism, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. There's no fixed identity, only flowing awareness. In Sufi mysticism, Rumi reminds us, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. Divinity is not somewhere far away, it breathes through you. And in Islam, Quran says, to God we belong and to Him we return. A circle, not a line, a remembering, not an ending. These teachings were never about dogma or division. They were about remembrance, about coming back to the truth that has always lived inside you. They were not pointing outward, they were pointing inward, inviting us to wake up and see that we were never separate to begin with. Religion at its root comes from religere, to bind, to reconnect. Its original purpose was not to control or condemn, but to reconnect you to the source you never actually left. So whether you call it God, universe, spirit, or simply life, it doesn't mind. It has no preference. It speaks every language because it's every language. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to belong to a religion to belong to truth. You belong to the stars that birthed you, to the breath that moves through every living thing, to the silence that remains when all thoughts dissolve. The truth is simple. You are already home. You just forgot, and now you're starting to remember. If we are made of light, if the universe is within us, then why do so many of us feel lost, broken, anxious, small? Why do we stay in jobs that drain us, relationships that silence us, lives that don't feel like ours? The truth is, we forgot. We forgot who we are because we were trained to forget. We live in a world that teaches us to fear instead of trust, to compete instead of connect, to consume instead of create. From the moment we are born, we are fed beliefs about what success looks like, what love should feel like, who we're supposed to be. And slowly, quietly, we build a cage, one made not of bars, but of thought. You see, your psychology, biology, and energy are not separate. They are intimately entwined, constantly shaping one another. Your beliefs are not just ideas, they're energetic programs. They tell your brain what to expect. They shape your nervous system's response to life. They literally decide what you will see as possible and what you will block out. And here's the key. Beliefs shape values, values shape behavior, behavior creates your reality. This is how cause and effect plays out in the material world, not from some outside force, but from within you. So if your beliefs are rooted in fear, unworthiness, or survival, that's what your nervous system will continue to create. You will stay in the same loops, repeating the same patterns, attracting the same experiences because they resonate with your inner frequency. But there is good news, and it's more than good, it's revolutionary. It's called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain is not fixed, it can change. When you adopt a new belief and you reinforce it with thought, feeling, and action, your brain physically rewires itself. New neural pathways form, old ones fade. This is not just theory, it's biology. You are not stuck with your past. You are not a prisoner of your programming. You are a sculptor and your mind is the clay. With every breath, every moment of awareness, you can begin again. So why are you here? Maybe to wake up from the dream? To remember that you are not a victim of reality, you are its co-creator? The loops of suffering? They're not your punishment, they're your invitation. An invitation to ask, what do I believe? Whose story am I living? And am I ready to rewrite it? Here's the forgotten key, the one hidden in plain sight. The outer world is not the starting point of your life, it's the mirror of your inner world. An event on its own is neutral. It's the meaning you give it that determines your emotional frequency. And that frequency, it shapes what comes next. Lose a job? Is it a failure or is it freedom? Lose love? Is it rejection or redirection? The story you tell yourself becomes your state of being, and your state of being becomes your vibration. And that vibration, like a beacon, calls in a matching reality. This is how energy works. Not as magic, but as mechanics of the unseen. Your thoughts sculpt form, your emotions transmit frequency, your beliefs and values build the blueprint for the life you're living. So, if you want to change the world around you, don't start with the world, start with the meaning you assign to it. Ask yourself, what am I broadcasting today? Fear or faith? Shame or self-love? Despair or a deeper calling? When you shift what's inside, you shift what you resonate with. And resonance is what decides what stays in your life and what dissolves away. You don't have to fight the old reality. You don't have to chase a new one. You simply become the vibration of what you desire, and life meets you there. Think of yourself as a clay statue, cracked, shaped, withered by life, but inside is a golden light being, not male, not female, not a personality or a label, but pure essence, radiant, alive, divine. The old form crumbles and the true self steps forward, not because you forced it, but because you remembered who you are. This is the key. The outer follows the inner, always. Once you live by that truth, you stop waiting for life to change you and start allowing your inner shift to create the change itself. You're not here to react to life, you're here to create it. You're not here by accident, not in this life, not in this moment, not watching this video. Your soul chose this body, this path, this timing, not to suffer endlessly, but to remember itself. Every wound you have carried was never meant to break you. It was meant to open you. Wound is where the light enters the heart. Every challenge was not a punishment, but a teacher. Every shadow, not something to fear, but a doorway to your own light. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not separate from truth. You are the awareness behind the thoughts. You are the silence beneath the noise. You are the ocean, not the waves. Somewhere along the way, the world told you who to be, so you forgot. You put on masks, you try to fit in, you try to belong. But here's the forgotten truth. You always belonged because you are part of everything. The moment you remember that is the moment you awaken. You stop fighting the darkness and start becoming the light. You stop asking, who am I supposed to be? And start remembering who I have always been. So the question is not whether you are powerful enough. You are. The question is, are you ready to remember? Are you ready to trust what's already inside you? To come home to the quiet voice within? To feel your own vibration and follow it? Because you are not just a name, not just a body, not just a story. You are light, you are sound, you are infinite awareness having a human experience. And the universe has been waiting for you to wake up.